Thank you for joining us on this journey. Don't forget to tap the bell, subscribe, and comment down below. So it's bright and early for you guys, hey?
Sure is.
No worries.
Are you typically morning people?
Yeah. So it's not a problem
So
now.
As
it's
well for
okay.
us. Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's good. Thank you so much for doing an interview with us. I'm really excited to get to know you guys and hear a little bit about your story. So
Awesome.
Great.
we can just start off, and why don't you guys introduce yourselves?
Okay, I'm Lachlan. I'm a teacher. I'm a kindergarten teacher. A big nerd and proud. Tragically obsessed with Harry Potter. Still, big beach fan. Love a bushwalk. Yeah, that's kind of me.
Okay. My name's Ed. I'm originally from Ireland, but I've been living in Australia for about 20 years, and I love the lifestyle here in Australia and Sydney. The weather's great. I like spending time on the beach, ocean swimming, and scuba diving. And we have a dog called Rua, who is 11 years old now, so he's getting a little bit old, but he's still a great puppy. So we
Still a puppy.
bring him for walks a couple of times a day, and he still likes going to the beach occasionally. So yeah, it's us.
I might have to ask, is there any chance you could show us your puppy? Is he right
Yes,
there?
for
Sure, give me 1 second.
Yeah, if you want, we can just jump right into the slideshow and you can
Yeah,
go
okay.
through.
Okay, so we'll maybe show a few photos of
Yeah,
us
might as well right
and
now.
what our life in Sydney looks like. So these are a couple of photos of when we got married about 18 months ago in Sydney. We were very fortunate to have a nice wedding down by the ocean in Sydney Harbour, and this was us getting ready for the reception.
I'm clearly a very funny person. I tell lots of good jokes.
Hilarious. Must have told
That was,
a
I think,
really funny joke.
My favorite photo from our wedding, I think, was me howling with laughter. Some terrible joke that Lucky's told.
This was us on our honeymoon. We went to Canada. So that's kind of when we started the formal process of the egg donation side of surrogacy. So we went and did our donations, and then we went to Whistler for a ski season.
And we have quite a bit of a connection with Canada. We've both spent a lot of time there over the years.
I studied in Canada when I was at university doing my undergrad in design. So yeah, love that. So this is Rua. This is our 11-year-old puppy. He's a little bit younger in that photo.
Aw.
He's so cute. He's a giant pony. He
Yeah,
always loves the beach, loves to dig.
Yeah, he's a Hungarian Vizsla. That's the breed. So they're very affectionate dogs. They call them Velcro Vizslas because they just want to be beside you all the time. They kind of lean against your leg to be
Very cool.
physically connected to you all the time, which is pretty cute.
Very cute.
Yeah. These are our best friends, Mick and Julia. So as you can see, we spend a lot of time on the beach in Australia, and love going for a walk and taking the dog out on the beach.
So this is up in Byron Bay. This is a very famous beach in Australia.
That's beautiful.
This is Ed doing an ocean swim.
Yeah, so these are my swim buddies, Sean and Stewie. So usually every weekend we try and get out and swim. The water, despite what you might think, the water is actually pretty cold in Sydney, particularly during the winter. It's probably about 15, 16 degrees in the water at the moment. So we do wear wetsuits when we go for a big ocean swim. But during the summer, no need for wetsuits. So this is us.
And that's Brewer again at Coogee. Mm-hmm. This is Christmas. Christmas in our family is a pretty big deal. I've always loved Christmas. The music, spending time with the family. Even though I was never brought up religious and I'm not religious myself, I think Christmas has always been about spending time with our family. So this was the Christmas before we got married, where Ed's family came out from Ireland. So it was a very special Christmas where our two families were together. It was unfortunately the last Christmas I had with my grandma, which is very sad. But yeah, we just always instilled a lot of joy in Christmas for us.
Yeah, Christmas is huge with our family as well. It's obviously the time that everybody comes together, and being able to have a nice Christmas in Australia with Lockie's family is really nice. And I've gradually warmed to the Australian Christmas Day, which is hot weather and eating seafood rather than turkey.
This is us in Ireland. So Ed's family has a real connection to the west coast of Ireland in Kilkee. Even though it's in Ireland in summer, it is freezing cold and it still swims.
Oh boy.
He's part seal.
Yeah. So this is where we kind of grew up, I guess, on summer holidays on the west coast of Ireland, and it's still a huge draw for us, and it's definitely something that I want to be able to share with our kids, is to be able to bring them back to the west coast of Ireland and show them what an Irish summer looks like, which might be very different from an Australian summer.
I think that's it.
Very cool. So we'll jump into a couple of questions here. Can you give us a picture of how the two of you met and what your initial first impression was of one another?
Well, I'd love to say it was a very Hollywood meet, but no, we met online. I was probably the aggressor in the pursuing of Ed, and he was very charming and asked me out on a date, which was very sweet. And we had an Italian meal. When we first saw each other, I was definitely blown away by Ed's choice of a light blue shirt and salmon-colored cargo pants with bright blue Nike sneakers.
I'm not the fashionable one in the relationship. I hope you can probably figure that out already.
But regardless, I was still very taken with his smile. Ed's sense of humor is definitely his most admirable quality. Yeah, I think.
I guess the first impressions, Lockie was probably definitely the best date I've ever had, which was just being a really good conversationalist. Definitely fell for his beautiful blue eyes on our first meeting, and it was a really nice evening. Having a good conversation. Definitely the best conversationalist I've ever met, and I guess that's what struck me was how extroverted he is, which is maybe a nice balance to part of my introverted nature. I think your kindness and caring for your family and your friends was certainly a big quality and a trait that I admired when we met.
What is your top favorite thing about being a couple?
For me, I think it's kind of the consistency and safety of a relationship. I think, on a stressful day or even during COVID, I guess, it was so lovely to just have someone that was always there with a smile, willing to give me a big hug. I think it's that the intimacy on a really sort of boring level, just sort of being still with each other, and I think that is just in a world that can be quite full on, it's so reassuring, and I just love that.
Having a partner to share your life with every day, even the small things, going for a walk with the dog in the afternoon, seeing what's happening around our neighborhood and catching up with friends, and having a partner to share that with is really special.
I love that. That's pretty amazing. Do you have any role models or other couples that you admire in terms of their relationship and who you look up to?
Yeah, definitely for me, I'd look towards my mum. She is an amazing mum and grandmother now, and she raised 5 kids, which in the 80s in Ireland wasn't an easy thing to do. There wasn't a lot of entertainment for 5 kids, so she's a really kind, giving, generous woman, and She's still fantastic with all of her grandkids, and she's come to visit us in Australia here several times. She loves Lachie, loves sitting and hanging out with Lachie and chatting all afternoon. So yeah, definitely my mum, I would say.
For me, I think it's my grandma. She was such an important role in my life. Not embarrassed to say that she's probably was one of my best friends. And I just really admired how she always put her family first. She came to every band concert or participation certificate I was awarded. Always had a big smile on her face with a genuine congratulations. She really made us feel like we were the most important people. She's sort of the foundation of a lot of our family traditions, and still, even though she's not with us, is a really big part of our lives. And I just would hope that she has influenced all of us. I'm still very close with my parents and my brother. I know that when we have kids, my family will be as involved as my grandma was, because she was such an influential woman.
She was amazing, Joyce, and she was very welcoming to me joining the Guthrie family, and very kind and welcoming, which I have to say, she was an amazing role model.
That's pretty special. I love that you were able to meet Lachlan's grandmother as well. Like that's pretty special, and get to kind of build a relationship with her and get to know her on that level. It sounds like you guys had a really good and significant relationship with her. So
totally, life changing.
Yeah. We're gonna switch gears a little bit here and talk about your journey to parenthood. So can you paint us a picture of what that has looked like so far? I know you touched on the process of the egg donation and whatnot. Maybe start at the very beginning. What did that conversation look like? The process of getting started? How did it all feel for you? That sort of thing.
I think probably from very early on in our relationship, it was clear that both of us were very keen on having a family, and we both love kids. Lucky's a school teacher, so it was always a big element in our relationship. We've got a lot of friends and family with kids, and we love spending time with them. So I think it was pretty clear early on in our relationship that was something that both of us wanted to do. We also have quite a few friends here in Sydney who have gone through surrogacy journey, so that was really nice to have that component as well, to be able to learn from them and to understand their journey, and to be able to educate ourselves about what that option would look like for us.
I feel like it was quite an organic process. Like, we got to a point in our relationship where it was the logical next step. We had a really honest onboard conversation, and like I said, we were really fortunate to know a few friends that had done the journey, so it made the starting process quite personal. I feel like particularly doing this in Canada, it does feel quite distant at times, so it did kind of bring it home and make it feel like relatable and warm, which was cool.
That's very cool. I think that it can feel daunting for a lot of intended parents, especially if they don't know anybody that has gone through the surrogacy process, because it can be and is such a long commitment, and you don't necessarily know what that path is going to look like. So it's really nice that you guys were able to talk with your friends that had gone through the journey and kind of ask questions and get a feel for it, and kind of maybe a little bit of a better, outlook on maybe what it's going to look like with the ups and downs and whatnot.
Exactly. Yeah.
When you meet your surrogate, what do you envision in terms of a relationship with her? What does that look like?
I think we've both kind of got a hopeful kind of fairy tale ending with the whole thing. Obviously, it would always be on the surrogate's terms, I guess. But for us, we would love to share the journey and grow a relationship with her during the pregnancy. And then I think after the pregnancy, I mean, we have a connection to Canada and always will. We'd love to maintain a relationship with her and her family. It's definitely, we would love to visit and, share the life of our child with the surrogate, because, I mean, the reality is she's a absolutely vital role in our journey. So
yeah, we'd see the surrogate as being part of our family, and we'd be very happy to share as much as they would be interested in our lives and connecting with them before the journey, and then throughout and afterwards, and we see our families being connected through that journey, and be very happy to continue that connection and share updates and photos and do Skype calls and all that kind of stuff to make sure that they are connected to our family.
Yeah. I know you kind of mentioned this a little bit, but what does your support system look like in terms of family and friends behind you in this journey? I know we kind of touched on a few of those things already. But...
yeah.
We have a huge network of family and friends here in Sydney, many of them with kids already, and we babysit for lots of our friends at the moment, so we're part of their support network, and they'll be very keen to be part of our support network. We're very fortunate, obviously, to have Lockie's family here in Sydney with us, and his parents are super excited about the surrogacy journey that we're going through. And Lockie's brother as well is also going through a surrogacy journey. So, we have a lot of people around us who are interested and engaged in our own journey.
Yeah, I think also, I mean, having friends that don't have kids, I think is also a little bit helpful. Our two closest friends, Mick and Julia, are right nearby and are pumped to be a fun aunt and uncle to our child. I think also, I mean, realistically, Rue is a huge support to us. I think a dog and a kid is such a nice pairing. I think we've got quite a diverse group around us.
Absolutely.
Really nice little community of people, which is great.
I would like the both of you to pick a childhood memory that you are looking forward to recreating when the time comes with your child.
I think for me, it's based around Christmas. So my family, growing up, whenever we travelled, we would find a Christmas decoration from where we went. So that when we put up our Christmas tree, it became this big, grotesquely nostalgic adventure where you would just share the fun memories. We still do that. That's a tradition that I have inflicted on Edward.
I love that.
So I would, that's the one thing that I am really excited to share with a kid.
For me, we talked a little bit about earlier on about going to the west coast of Ireland. I come from a very big family, and we have lots of cousins, and all of those cousins are having kids, and we all come back from the four corners of the earth to the west coast of Ireland to catch up and have a reunion. We go swimming in the very cold ocean, and go for long walks on the cliffs around the west coast of Ireland, which is amazing. It's just really beautiful and scenic. And that was my childhood summer holidays, so it's something that I really want to share with our kids. It's still a bit chilly for Lockie to spend too much time in the water in Ireland, but it's definitely something I'd be keen to see if an Australian-Canadian kid is going to be able to handle the Irish summer holidays in Kilkee. Yeah.
Oh, for sure. I think, I don't know, Canadian weather is definitely, it sounds like Ireland and Canada are kind of similar in that way, so
Ireland's a bit more sort of in the middle. It doesn't have the hot weather in the summer or the very cold weather in the winter. But there's probably places in Canada that would be Vancouver is probably similar. Maritime doesn't
very wet.
A bit wet. Doesn't get super hot, super cold.
Yeah, well, that makes sense. Well, I have one final question for you guys to kind of finish off our interview. And I just wanted to ask, is there anything else that you feel would be important for your surrogate to know? Maybe a little message that you would like to say to her, whoever she may be?
For me, I think the message would be to reassure them that our intentions of having a child are to let them be their own little person. I think neither of us have an expectation of who they're meant to be. I think I see that as a teacher quite often. I think the happiest kids are the kids that are just allowed to be their own little self and are supported 100%. So I think that would be our parenting philosophy, and I think, I would hope that that would reassure any surrogate that they're destined to have a lovely little life here in Sydney.
Absolutely.
I'm just like watching the sun come up in your window.
Yeah.
So
I know,
like,
I've noticed that.
Right.
Totally.
The sun's coming up. It's gonna be the start of your guys' day. So with
It's
that,
a metaphor.
with that, that's all the questions that I have. So thank you so much for doing this interview, and I've really enjoyed getting to know you guys and hear a little bit of what the corner of your world looks like. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Thanks, Hope. We
Thank you
appreciate
so
it.
much, Hope. Cheers.
All right. Bye.